Hi, I'm Alessia. I know it's been a while since my last video, and I kind of feel that I really want to get back into the filming routine. I would be just giving some updates on my PhD, what's going on in my life in general. I can just drop some beautiful clips of diaries on that and be fine. Actually getting to know how to film videos and then edit them brought me quite far already. So now I'm creating those promo videos or advertisements for my PhD project, which is basically a human study. So we have to recruit participants, and one of the ways of how we can do it is simply by showing them the details of our study and like talking more about how safe it is and what exactly they have to do, and just like getting to know the project in general. So recently I was thinking about this idea of 100% to do something, to get a feeling that it's done as good as 100%, you gave it 100% of your effort, all that kind of stuff. And those reflections brought me to the point where I'm just questioning whether 100% mark is at all possible. Like for example, you know, in France where I am now, students are graded out of 20. And you should know that reaching this 20 and actually getting a mark 20 is almost impossible. Well, for some subjects like maybe maths or something where the notation is very strict, you might get 20. But in other cases, it's just not reachable. Whereas in my native country, we are graded out of 5, where 5 is completely normal state of a student knowledge. I mean, if you're perfect enough to do the exercise, you can get it. And in order to get diploma with honors, the average that you have to have would be 4.75, which gives you an idea of how many people are getting diploma. So 5 is definitely possible. In Germany, for example, it's all about mistakes that you're making. So the more mistakes you make, the more they take out of your grade. So the best is 1, and they take out points whenever you make mistakes. That might also reflect some of the cultural differences. It seems funny to me. And since recently, I keep thinking about that 100% and like giving you all to the work that you're doing. For me, seems to be very unreasonable. Now I'm feeling quite safe. I feel like I'm settled here for 3 more years. Okay, for 2.5 now, because time flies. I feel very safe and calm. And it strikes me, the fact that I have to actually work every day towards a goal, that strikes me because, you know, I always imagine I have to finish it in 3 years. Which means that I've got 2.5 more years to go, which means that I am quite on time. The start date of the project keeps delaying and postponing. I am into a confusing state of mind where I know that I should be working more, but at the same time that's not only me, because we've got a big group of people working on that project, but primarily me because it's my PhD project, yet there are so many tiny things that have to be coordinated by other people and that I cannot really influence. Well, I can by putting pressure on those people, but that's not my job, that's not what I want to be doing here. And I also like this perspective of not speeding things up. My interest here is to stay in the most stable position as much as possible. I think I've got loads of upcoming experience that I will have to learn, or skills that I will have to master before actually graduating. And I really don't want to leave anywhere yet. I just want to stay where I am to extend my PhD. I'm not afraid of that now, at the moment at least. And I mean, they also pay me. Why would I care about leaving and searching for something else if everything works fine so far? I recently listened to a podcast. It was Deep Dive by Ali. I'm watching every episode of his YouTube channel, and I'm also religiously listening to his podcasts, which is almost a special kind of delight for me. And I got that idea that 100% deviation from your initial trajectory can be very meaningful in the long run. But at the same time, I'm thinking that our scale gets different with all that, you know, student loans, property credits, career skill accumulation, all that kind of stuff. Now we plan in terms of tens, dozens of years, but I really do think that it does prevent us from living in the moment and just balancing everything. I'm always all the time visualizing that 1% gets you further in the long run. I'm always thinking about it, to make one more effort this day, and this is the phrase and the idea that really sits in my head and that motivates me every day to work harder and better. But I'm struggling to find the balance in this kind of system. This year I have a tiny note over there that I want to live sustainable life, and sustainable is basically like a word of my year, and the word sustainable for me would be defined for this year at least as feeling better consistently. For me, that includes balance in many scenarios. Since I was 13, I've been telling that my main goal in life is happiness, and then at around 15 years old I started to say that my goal in life and my biggest dream is balance. And it is. I can't say that I've been working towards that goal a lot, but I've been doing some smaller steps. And I think just in trying to generalize that idea of how to find balance in everyday life, not just on the long term, but right now, today, what can I do today to fill my day with more cheerful emotions and more meaningful moments, rather than just adding like chunks of vacation, for example. I'm the person who cannot relax during the vacations, and I remember this summer we went to Montenegro, second day evening. I've been crying that I really wish I had my computer with me. You cannot relax, you cannot just spend proper time, which is kind of true, because well, I can spend like small amounts of time with people because it aligns with my general goal of sustainability and feeling better consistently and balance and all that kind of stuff. But I can't be focused on that kind of lifestyle for months or for weeks. That's just, too much, I guess. That's gonna be like a weird salad of things, but that's what my life is. As I've been talking about Ali's podcast, I just wanted to bring up some of the ideas that I liked a lot. This one was a podcast with the creator of the bullet journal, and there were several phrases that I just loved, and I thought I could share with you. In your to-do list, tasks are experiences waiting to be born. Isn't it amazing? It's completely different way of looking at your to-do list, at your mundane tasks. It's also not only a present experience when you are actually completing a task, but that's also a huge range of opportunities that actually fulfilling that gap doing the task gives you. In terms of, let's say, I often find myself not really wanting to go to French classes, but actually what French classes give me is various opportunities to build my career, to build strong relationship with people around, to just evolve in my life in various ways. And it only depends on my imagination and on my effort of finding the right opportunities. It's an amazing way to think of it. Another interesting thought is that if you're not ready to commit time to write down an event, why commit time doing it? Boom! So cool. Like, true. Why would you do that? Is it meaningful enough to do it? Yeah, it's probably not. Setting goals means setting an intention. What is it you are trying to accomplish? Seeing it as an experiment. What is it a laboratory for? Boom! Again, amazing idea. That just strikes me of how accurate that is in terms of my personal beliefs and how to perceive the life in general as a laboratory, as a way to get more experiences and experiment. With that general equivalent between experience and experiment, I wrote my MA thesis on that topic of comparing experience and experiments. I'll probably cover that topic again one day, but just that philosophy of taking your life as an exploration, not as a food for thought, but as a food for your exploration. You know, all that kinds of experiments that I'm constantly trying to do, like this film that doesn't have a proper goal in it, like learning German that doesn't have a proper goal either, and it's just about creating experience. Oh, I'm doing something like a linguistic tandem. We created a linguistic tandem with a person who is French, and she learns my native language, and for me it's vice versa. And so basically we met recently, and she said one thing, that not everything has to have its proper purpose, but it can actually be created after you start doing. So doing first and then thinking. That's a strategy that sometimes works a lot more than thinking and then doing, for people like me who tends to overthink. Anyways, I think I will finish today's episode here. Just wanted to share several thoughts with you, and if you have any reactions, or if you have your own proper thoughts, or if you disagree with me on something, I would really cherish if you could just write it down in the comments or contact me in any different way. That would be a funny experience, but if not, I'm fine with that too. Okay? Thanks a lot for spending time with me, and cheers. See you in the next video.